Earlier this month, we were on location in Colorado Springs at the Accredited Members Conference. I had a great conversation with Shannon Murphy of Murphy Mining. Let's take a look at that right now. Come to an Accredited Members Conference and not run into Shannon Murphy. Of course, Shannon's with Murphy Mining and Exploration. Shannon, good to see you.
Don, it's awesome to be back and wonderful to visit with you again. Thank you.
Well, I'm really happy to have you here because you're probably the happiest guy in the room. You told me before coming on the air that you've got some really big things in the work with Murphy Mining and Exploration. Why don't you kind of bring our audience up to date?
Well, Don, yeah, I think we're probably amongst the happiest guys at the show. We've been working for close to 7 years putting together our program, as I shared with you previously, a year ago in fact. We are moving into production, so our first gold will be processed and made available to offset some of those inherent debts that you acquire over the years within the next 60 days. So for us, this is a total time of change to move from an exploration into a production cycle, and it's good for the company, good for the town of Cripple Creek.
I've got to think that you must feel like you're the king of timing, because you talk about being involved with this for 7 years, and in 60 days you're going to start selling gold when gold's at an all-time high from 7 years ago especially. I mean, this must be just about the best time to be going into production.
Well, Don, when I wrote the business plan, gold was at $370 an ounce. I visited with my partner Gary Nordic at the time and consulted my dad, Pat Murphy, and I said, this is a perfect time for us to get involved. Gold has been in a slump. I think it's going to go to 500. Maybe it'll get to 600 dollars an ounce, obviously. And they said, let's do it. And we did. In the first 4 years, of course, all we could do was successfully spend money. And it's a good thing we did, because we've been able to secure some property. Putting together a portfolio of properties like we've got is very difficult, especially because of the nature of the patented mineral claims. They're small, they overlap, and we did that during a time where gold went from $370 an ounce up to 600. So we were smiling at that time. We figured, well, if we can continue on this trend, work harder at getting operational, there's a good chance that we could start producing at about 750. Well, lo and behold, it got to 1,000, and that was my big smile at the Phoenix conference was, hey, Don, we hit $1,000 plus, and I don't know where it's going to go to. And you still commented to me at the time and said, can we see, or your question was, can we see $1,400 or $1,500 gold? And I said, I believe so. Yes. And here we are a year later, $1,500 or $1,450, close to it, on its way to $1,500. We're very well positioned. We're a debt-free company at this point, which seems strange, but we did a couple of transactions. We've done a number of private equity transactions. Very happy with where we're at. Good space. Got a tremendous team. I've got a great board of directors supporting me, and that's what makes this fun now.
As I said, one of the happiest men in the room, Mr. Shannon Murphy with Murphy Mining and Exploration. I'm not going to mess with karma and ask you if gold will go to 2,000. Maybe a year from now you'll be telling me, well, Don, look what we did.
You know, fortunately we don't influence that, but with the world markets where they're at, the gold supply is at about 55% of the demand. Mm-hmm. So we have a market that is waiting for whoever can deliver product. Consumption is on the increase. There are countries that are looking at monetizing additional collateral base, if you want to call it that, in the form of gold, bullion. The Chinese have tripled their holding of gold. We see other countries looking at doing the same thing where they can afford to do it. So for us, gold is where it's at. I actually wrote an article for accredited members on gold, where we think it's going to and how difficult things will be for the small miner getting into the market today. So, lots of fun things happening for us. Will it get to 2,000? I believe that it's got a very good chance. The problem is, means our dollar's gotten weaker, means oil prices have gone up, and we don't want to stimulate or create any incentive for the Middle East or other areas to have continued unrest to up the price of commodities. We just don't want to do that.
Well, Shannon, I want you to make a promise to me that when you extract that first piece of ore, you get a picture of it and send it to me with an autograph.
You got a deal. We'll have a provenance underneath it, and this is for Don. How's that?
Murphy Mining and Exploration, Shannon Murphy. Shannon, thanks so much.
Thanks, Don.